tuning your guitars to.
Yeah, to get a sort of authentic, ethnic kind of sound on the guitar.
Yeah.
There you go, we can perform Stairway to Heaven now.
Yeah.
So yeah, welcome back to In the Course of the Wenton King. Hello. We've been gone for 2 weeks, sorry. Anything happened in your 2 weeks holiday?
Well, it was an unexpected 2 weeks, wasn't it? We were only expecting one, but we both had a bit of a break, haven't we?
We have indeed.
Yeah. I went to Dublin and I went on a canal trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was good fun, you know. Mm-hmm. No one had ever been on a canal boat before.
That's cool.
The one night actually, we went because it's Sarah's birthday, 30th birthday, and we had a sort of like a birthday meal. And we didn't really get well. We went into the pub once to shelter from the rain, where I went up to the barman and I said, "Do you do Irish coffee?"
Yes, in Dublin.
Yes, we do. We do Irish coffee. I'll bring it over to you. As we sat down, we could see him laughing behind the bar. But apart from that, you know, we went out for a bit of a special birthday meal. But we managed to find somewhere called the Porterhouse, which was like off a little alley. There was like a fairy lights, and it looked quite intriguing. It said live music, so we went down there. We went inside. It was quite busy. There was a guy on a guitar playing lots of David Gray and things like that, which wasn't too bad, you know, for a Monday night. So we went in, and I thought, well, I've come all the way to Dublin and I haven't had a Guinness yet, so I'll have a Guinness and Sarah have whatever. And I went up to the bar. I said, "1 Guinness," and he goes, "We don't serve Guinness, mate." I was like, "You what?" He said, "We don't serve Guinness." Well, we've got these 2 local ones here, these 2 stouts here. So I had one of the local stouts.
Oh right, okay.
It tasted just like Guinness, strangely enough.
Strangely enough, yeah. I went to Portugal, but we ended up staying 2 days too long because our flight was cancelled. Sounds alright, but it was quite stressful. I'm completely confused today. We came back late last night. When you've got 3 kids and you don't know what's happening, and because it was Ryanair, of course, they didn't answer their phone, and the website didn't work, etc., etc., and there was sort of 4 hours of queuing at the airport and all that stuff to find out what was going on. But it turned out all right in the end, so it was okay.
I'll say this about Dublin: we never had a bad meal. It was all fantastic.
Brilliant.
Really, really nice.
Well, where we stayed was actually very nice, in Alvor, highly recommended. Delphim Hotel, 4-star, all-inclusive, cheap.
Really music.
Yeah, I was thinking that. We do actually review music, don't we? So that's probably what we should do. So, Supertramp. Who?
Yeah.
Have you heard any Supertramp before?
No.
Neither have I. We don't know anything about Supertramp at all, which is strange, because this is very much that era.
Yeah.
You know, and it's 73, same year as Sailing England and Dark Side of the Moon and the first Camel album, you know, and lots of stuff like that, and Topographic Oceans, and a lot of live albums from around that time as well. And yet I've never actually listened to Supertramp. It's been on the list in my mind of things I should investigate, you know. So this is our first experience with this band. So we've only heard this album, Crime of the Century, which I think is their famous album. Or I think they've got a run of about 3. And the first 2 albums weren't a hit. It's the classic story when Make or Break third album, when they solved the problem. You know, and it either goes 2 ways, doesn't it? I mean, say like with Rush, they thought, well, screw you, we're just going to make the music we like, and they made this sort of proggy stuff, and it was hugely successful, so ha ha ha. But with a lot of bands, that's not true. They go in a very commercial direction, and it's the commercial direction which gives them the hit, like Kansas. Same thing happened to Kansas with their 4th album. This is very much the commercial end of things, but I think that's just the kind of music they make. That's the impression I get. It is the Camel generation, but it is. I think it's comparable to Camel musically. People might not think that, but I think the way the music's structured and the way it's very open, and it's very jamming, and the music just goes on. You know, you could think, well, in that 30 seconds there, nothing's happened. You know, it's an ongoing sound, a bit like Camel, and there's solos and things like that. The big difference is its vocals and its songs, and it's very much American influenced. There's the R&B thing, there's the Carole King kind of sound. It makes me think of Billy Joel and things like that is in there as well. So imagine Camel meets that kind of thing with the high vocals. Less John Anderson, more Geddy Lee. So it's not that kind of high vocals, although the sort of approach to melody is John Anderson like, without the hippie stuff, I think, which is possibly a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I probably had a complete misconception over this. You say Supertramp to me, and I start thinking Fleetwood Mac for some reason.
It's that kind of thing. Yeah.
you say it's commercial. You tend to think commercial in the modern sense means X Factor, formulaic, ballads, that kind of thing. It's not commercial in that sense. No, it's commercial for 1973, 74.
Yeah, in the context of the bands we like.
Yeah.
This is very much the commercial end. But I mean,
it's not wholly a bad thing, is it?
No, because it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put it on and you like it.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Moon is quite commercial in that sense. It does remind me a little bit of Pink Floyd, the Foley and stuff that's in there, all the sort of like different sound effects, which obviously is something that, not sound effects, but samples and things like that.
Sounds of children and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's a very Pink Floyd-esque type thing.
Yeah, and in fact, they weren't being influenced by Pink Floyd because this is the same time as Dark Side of the Moon. So
the vocals are a little bit, they're good, but they are the same all the way through.
Yeah.
Whereas Pink Floyd had they had.
None of them were really singers, actually. So it's a very different thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you could have Roger Waters do something. You could, a bit of variation. Gilmour had a bit of variation in his style anyway.
There'll be no more. There's a bit of exhibition for you. Yeah.
But I was pleasantly surprised. I could listen to that quite easily.
Yeah,
it's not music you've got to get your ear in for, but it is dramatic.
Yeah.
It reminded me a little bit of 10cc and We Are Parry.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, yeah.
So there's drama, but it's positive. It doesn't really get very moody. That's probably the difference between Dark Side and this.
It's never going to be profound.
No.
There's a moment when I think it does a bit. We are never going to like it as much as Camel, but most people would prefer this to Camel.
I would have said so. Yeah.
The sound of Supertramp though is very much. It makes me think of Cold as Ice by Foreigner, but that's much later and much smoother and simpler. But the keyboard top thing. And obviously, there's the famous single on this album of that, but it's always in there that keyboardy thing, and that's with really pronounced bass kind of stuff. That's the sound of Supertramp for me. But like you said, it's all nice. It's nice, isn't it? Yeah. The title, is it influenced by Nursery Crime? Maybe Crime of the Century, Nursery Crime? Maybe, possibly. Don't know. Right, should we do the songs then?
Yeah, let's do songs.
Okay, the song one is called School. This is quite a famous song, I think. You've got the harmonica stuff at the start, and you've got the arpeggio thing going. It's a really nice chord progression, actually. You don't really notice till the end when they start playing the chords, and it's like a repeating mantra. They do a lot of that. It's a good song.
It's a very good song, and again, you mentioned the opening. Very recognisable. Most people will recognise it from somewhere.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. Track 2, Bloody Well Right.
Bloody Well Right. And this is different. It's a different feel to it. It's much more Americanised. It's much more. There's an R&B thing. As I said, the sort of Carole King. That's what I call it anyway. I mean, this is written by one guy. There's two main writers. One is Rick Davies, who we used to know at school, strangely, and Roger Hodgson, I think he's like the famous guy, and he's the singer. But I think the songs are generally written between the two of them. And maybe the Davies guy is the more R&B guy, and Hodgson is the more Britishiness, maybe. That could be just because of his voice, but...
Yeah, I agree. It's got that 70s American vibe to it.
I mean, the one of the riffs actually sounds just like Who Knows from Band of Gypsies. It's that kind of thing.
Hide in Your Shell.
Yeah, more of the keyboardy thing. Very, very typical from what I've gathered. You can hear the influence they had on Foreigner. I don't know why I keep talking about Foreigner. It's not really relevant. There's a major bit, and the bit that changes to minor is the great bit of the song. I think it builds up, and it's very, very commercial in a good way.
Yeah, this is the track I pick out as the typical track from the album.
Track number 4,
Asylum.
I like the way this juxtaposes with track 3. It's nice that they put it next to it. It's kind of still a ballad, but it's different. It's more of a typical ballady kind of thing. Some nice changes in it. A little bit dull, maybe. It's okay.
I think that's a sort of modern taste coming through there. It does seem a little bit tame. Track 5, Dreamer.
Yeah, this is the famous song, obviously. I think obviously it's very deliberately has a pop value to it. I mean, it is what it is. Does it interest us now? Not really. No. I mean, over time I'll be skipping this track. It's obviously it's a very good pop song. Yeah. Very, very, very distinctive, which is good.
Good hook for the album.
Yeah.
Sell the album. Track 6.
This is the epic building song. Sorry, what's it called?
Rudy.
Rudy. Yeah, I knew that. The big epic building songs, big strings on it and all that. There's not much changes going on, so it is very much a mantra. The whole thing just repeats as it goes along. That has a bit more weight than the previous songs. It's really good.
I mean, I think this is sort of, because Dreamer's a single, you can sort of formulate an opinion that the band is quite commercial, or very commercial. And then this track sort of takes you a step back a little bit and makes you reconsider things as actually more to Supertramp than just fun little ditties, because it is.
Yeah.
The way it builds is quite exciting and interesting.
Yeah. Some big strings on it as well, which don't sound naff. They're quite good.
Yeah, yeah. And it's hard to pull things like that off.
Yeah.
Next track, If Everyone Was Listening.
If Only Everyone Was Listening. It's a nice song. Another nice song. I mean, a lot of the songs in here are vaguely ballady, nice songs. This one is not much to say about it. I'm sure people consider it a classic and all that, you know. Yeah. Because it's a big album.
I mean, we talk about Bridge and Pieces. It does feel like a bit of a sandwich filler between two tracks. Because we're going to the last track now, track 8.
Crime of the Century. For me, this is the best thing on the album. It's the first half is very much like the rest of the album, but it's the second half which is this repeating chord progression, much more the kind of thing we listen to. So that second half of that song could have been Camel, for example. It's very much that kind of thing. It's a haunting motif that keeps repeating, and it's over too soon. It's over ever so quick. This song, brilliant, really good track.
Yeah, great way to finish it. We like it when an album finishes on a big epic song, and this fits the bill perfectly.
I mean, obviously, from my perspective, I would have put track 7 as a B-side, and I would have expanded on this one.
Yeah, made it a bit more of an epic, but perhaps that wasn't their thing. Sort of, it does feel like they're playing music that they like, so it's hard to sort of say, oh well, get rid of that track and make this one longer, because ultimately they're just doing what they like to do. That's Crime of the Century.
That's Crime of the Century, yeah. An interesting one, something different. Yeah, so that's cool.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
The deluxe edition has just been released, so you might want to get that. I think it's got some live stuff on the second disc. I give it 4 eggs. It is definitely a 4 egg album.
I'm tempted towards 4 eggs. I'm just slightly aware of the fact that because it's a pleasant surprise, maybe we're overrating it a little bit, because I don't think we're expecting to like it that much, were we?
No, I don't know. I don't really know. But the problem is his expectation, and it's considered a great album, but a very commercial album. So we don't know. We haven't given it time.
I think 4 eggs is pretty fair, actually. There's enough good tracks on there.
Yeah.
And it'll definitely be one of those I'd stick in the car and have in there for a while. So
yeah. So recommended.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week for a better review.